Hello everyone, Manthral here, and welcome back to a little bit of an update on the bank rework and with all of its glory that has come to be. So, there is actually a lot of changes. Some things are actually pretty good. So you can actually have a default transfer. So that'll be down here in the bottom here. This, like, you can select it. You can even have your X already selected, and you can actually use your Alt key and then hit the number you need, and that'll withdraw accordingly. So there is that going on. All the little shops down here are, well, not shops, but like Diango, the Diango's holiday shop, the costume room, and your player house, the bank pin, like all that stuff's down here now. Your note, switch to note mode. Actually, it highlights when you have selected that. And here's what it says: when withdrawing all items from a bank, leave a count of 0 behind your remaining position in the bank. So if you do that, no matter what, when you go to withdraw, there should always be basically a placeholder, if you will. I don't think it's an actual placeholder, but like if I withdraw this now, there's actually a 0 there now. Okay, that is the placeholder. So that is, essentially how the placeholders can work. You can also right click. Well, yeah, I guess you can't do that way. But yeah. So if you're very keen on having things a certain way, that is actually going to be how you go about it. Now you can also right click and customize a tab. Now see, I didn't choose names for these, but these are the icons that you actually have that you can use for these. But you can choose names, and it goes from like your different types of combat, and then it goes into certain types of bosses, and then your skills. And now this is the part I find interesting, and I'll let you guys. I'll scroll down here, and we'll see what stands out different than anything else. Now, keep in mind, this could just be Jagged trolling us, but it's very possible this is a hint at the skill that's going to be announced this Saturday. I'm not saying this is going to be it, but given everything, and given it's in the skill category, I think it's a possibility of that being the thing. So, we are potentially looking at sailing as the next skill. Potentially. And that'd be very interesting if that was. But okay, so you also have your minigame selects, your D&Ds, Wilderness Clan, and then different god themes and holiday themes. Cosmetics, bake, standing, machinima, machinima. Questing, riot, role playing, 1 through 10. Then there's more bosses down here. There's even Clue Scroll, Treasure Trail, Anachronia. You have different categories you can go by. But if you don't want to do that, you don't have to. I didn't choose names for any of mine because I don't really see the point. So my first tab for me personally, which is your infinite tab. This is kind of like your random stuff or keys. I don't have my key ring yet, so a lot of these keys will disappear in time. But it's kind of like your random things, and then my loot. Okay, that's what they have to keep in mind. If you have your placeholder thing and check, that's always going to be going on. I'm actually going to withdraw those two as well, because that I want to actually put somewhere, and I realized just now that I missed it. So, I'll probably throw that in there along with this. However, there's my first category. My second category is combat. So I put all my cooked food in here because, well, guess what you're going to be using most of your cooked food with? Combat. So all my cooked food is in here, and then I go into my raging supplies, and the different types of keys or currencies or combinations that you have to make a key, or then the big stackables, and then the gear. The gear, me personally, I don't keep a ton of different gears, so that is what it is. Up next, I have my rune crafting slash, well, yeah, it's runes, rune crafting and runes. So essentially, that's all this tab is, because it can be a big tab. Also, I have my like some magic type stuff, like some magic staves. That's for enchanting. I just realized I only have one mystic staff in here, so I do need to get my other staves. So that was actually in the wrong spot, but I do need to get more mystic staves. I have my torso instances in there because I want to use them up, and I'm probably never going to make them again because I hate collecting ash. I really just don't like collecting it. It's worth it, but I don't like collecting it. Then I have a farming tab. Now this is one that is kind of new for me, but I have all my farming supplies right here. Since farming is kind of a big skill when it comes to the amount of items it has, it's actually very handy. Up next, I have fishing, cooking, and hunter. Now there's a reason why all three of these are actually together. Number one, raw fish. Raw fish, I want to use it for cooking, so obviously it's going to be with that. But then also, you're going to be fishing, so obviously, that's where that goes. So they kind of tie hand to hand. The reason why hunter got thrown into this is because of big game hunter. Eventually, my coffers are going to fill with the different types of dinosaur meat. I am not going to always get the same amount each time around. So, the hunter is actually going to go in here as well because of, cooking the meats. Up next, I have crafting. This is just a pure crafting one. I don't have anything else with it. Your gems, your hides, especially because big game hunter, it gives you a lot of hides, so this is actually perfect. I put my keys in here too because, keys are actually perfect for this. I did need some of them, sorry. I guess I named actually a lot of them, more than I thought. But this one is, as you can guess from the symbol, is just pure questing items that I don't know. I haven't checked recently if I'm actually going to need the items to do so. There is actually a prayer one. I'm not so sure if this one is actually going to stick. But this one is going to be like any prayer supplies. So you got like the fire remains because you got to put them in a pyre. You got the fire remain. Wow, I just realized they're very similar. But you got the vampire remains and the ghost remains in here. You got your bones. You got your ashes. I forget how I got these ashes, but I got those ashes from something I did not collect it myself. And the prayer outfit. Moving along, we got wood cutting, fletching, and fire making all into one because it's essentially that is the skill for this set. So you have your different things in here. Obviously, I don't really have much of these skilling outfits. I only have that one. I do have some of the elite, but I don't have too much of it yet, so it's not really beneficial to have in here. And here, as you can see, I actually missed a few spots sometimes with my fletching. But this is my construction tab. So you have your different types of planks in here. You never know when you're going to need more, especially if they actually do release sailing, because if they release sailing, you should almost have construction along with it. The reason why I say that is because if you're going to have to build or repair your ship, it would make sense that construction goes along with it, as well as fishing and smithing. Those are probably going to be, if it is sailing, it's probably going to be an elite skill, and those will probably be the 3 skills required to be at level, is it 80 or 90? I believe it is, I want to say 80 to get those skills. So that is something to keep in mind, that is probably a prerequisite, is probably going to be this. But anyway, there's the tab for that. I do actually have a smithing and mining tab. Mostly because now that smithing is the way it is, you got your smithing outfit itself, the mining outfit, the ore box, and then the current armor set you're working on. Personally, I like doing burial armor sets. It gives you a good amount of XP. and a lot of respect because you're making big sets and then you're throwing in a big set all at once. So that's why I do it that way, and I even have my smelting gauntlets, which are actually a huge help. Up next, I have my herb lore. Now, I know this might look like a jumbled mess, but keep in mind whenever I do this, I have my grimy guam, clean guam, and guam unfinished. And it's like that for every single herb, and as time has been going on, I've been adding the secondaries that go along with those right behind it. So Harlander, I do have a lot of those because I only mix the potions that I actually have either the herbs and ingredients or just the ingredients for. So this one I only ever have mostly the herb going with it because of the Throne of Miscellanea. So that is something to keep in mind, but that is why the unfinished ones are up here. And down below there is some potions, secondary ingredients that I do not have mixed in yet. And this one actually belongs there. But I do have, some things here that I am unsure where they go yet or have not mixed in yet. Then we also have the different types of potions. Now I do not have them properly mixed up yet, because I have super defense out here and super defense up here. Mostly because these are the 4 dose and those were a lesser dose, and by doing so I kind of need to reorganize this a little bit better. This way the different doses are actually with it. This way it looks a little less confusing that way. See, because when you do it like that, you can kind of see where each potion is going and all the benefits that it comes with that type of organization. So that's something I just kind of need to reorganize just a little bit yet before it's kind of pretty well good off. Up next, I kind of have a mixture of 2 skills. I'm probably actually going to combine the thieving with prayer actually, but right now it is summoning and prayer. Not summoning and prayer, but summoning and thieving. So we have these going on right here. First off, I got all my charms, and then I got my specialty charms to help make stuff. And as you can see, going down through, then eventually I get into the thieving aspect. I have this there for safe cracking, but that I don't use that anymore, so that can actually go into the quest log area. And then we have a different type of thieving outfits. I have my exoskeleton, which is actually a very good thieving outfit. And the only other thing I don't really have a spot for is the codex pages, so agility type stuff. So this agility will probably be alongside with something, and I'm going to do it right now. Agility is going to go right along with prayer. So it's agility and prayer, thieving and summoning. I know that makes it kind of weird, but those are the options I chose. I should probably actually do summoning and prayer and then thieving and agility. That actually makes a lot more sense. But right here, I have my invention tab. So this is like my invention / divination tab. So this is where I'll have my excess gear. This is a hardcore account. This is what I do with it. I save certain types of gear and I build up other types, or I get rid of it, or I just hold on to certain types like extra hammers because of making the Hammertron. Ranged gear that I'm not going to use, stuff to make the portents, and other stuff I'm just going to break down. But there's actually a good variety here. And then the final category is the clue scroll category. If I do this the way I actually want to, you will see that that's not what I want to do. I got all the teleports, and then I have all of my clue scrolls, and then all the gear for the clue scrolls in here. Now these are actually going to all slowly disappear little by little, because that's what's going to happen. All of these are going to go to hidey holes, and I'm going to complete all the hidey holes. That is another thing that is a primary goal to do. But thanks to these new bank tabs here, you can actually have a more well thought out spacing. Just try to make sure you keep it as organized as possible, this way to make it as easy as possible for yourself. Because if you don't have it very well organized, it could be a substantial pain in the bottom. So do keep that in mind. But that'll actually be it for this video. I just wanted to show you my bank, how I went about it, and what you could potentially do with it. Other features with the bank itself, you got your count right here, which is actually very nice. If you click on the plus here, it'll actually either tell you, as you can see here, you already own all the bank boosters or not. You got your filters right next to that, so that's actually pretty cool. We already went over this. You got your equipment slots right here. You have your backpack here. You also have what is currently equipped, and then your Beast of Burden if you have one summoned. Why they have this here, I don't know, because you can kind of do either one there. But I guess if you wanted to do, let's say, that and this, you could, or that and this. I guess that could be useful to some degree. But that'll be it for this video, so thank you guys so much for watching. Until next time, later guys.